Welcome back, trainers, and as you may know, Giratina has returned back into Pokemon Go. We will be getting its other form coming April 2nd. That's going to be the newer one, the one that we all want to see. But for now, we're going to be going over the Lotad Day tasks to see what we have going on there, as well as the new raids that have entered into Pokemon Go. And as you can see, I am currently powering up my defense Deoxys here. And I was going to say, if we can get this video to, I don't know, 550 likes, say that, I will buy a secondary move for this and then go back into PvP and test it out some more. So it was not a very big investment getting it up to around 1500. After I was able to check the IVs to see where it would land, I saw that it was going to be at 1497. Very good, perfect. So with that said, let's go ahead and check out the news. Alright, so we're over here on Trails' Twitter. We're going to go ahead and check out the Lotad Day task to see what we have in store for us for the future. So the question mark is going to be an X amount, all right? So I'm not going to say a certain amount every time. So first one is going to be make curve throws, make great throws in a row, make nice throws in a row. Next we have battle in a gym, use super effective charge in a gym battle. And it's funny with those, I find it sometimes that you can use charge moves and it doesn't have to be super effective. I don't get it. Who knows? All right, battle in a raid. All right, next up is going to be still for Lotad, catch a cast form. So I'm assuming that the cast forms are going to have increased spawns, right? Next we have catch Pokemon with weather boost. So we were going over, they said that Pokemon that are going to be revolving around whatever specific weather that is happening in your area will have an increased spawn. So there you go, that's pretty much confirming it. And then catch Pokemon with weather boost again. That's probably going to be, the first one's going to be 5, the next one's going to be maybe 10. I'm not too sure of the numbers. And then going on here, we have spin a Pokestop, X amount, and then use a berry to help catch a Pokemon. And once again, I'm going to go over the question marks are going to be X amount. Not too sure what they are, but we have 9 hours to complete these, so you should be perfectly fine. So there you have those. Moving on to the next one here. And then we have the bug out event research tasks here. First one's going to be catch X amount of bug type, catch a bug type Pokemon, catch Ladybug or Spinarak, catch a Rumple, evolve bug type Pokemon. So there you go. And who knows what the number is going to be, but it's still there. Then we have the special quest research task, catch an Aerodactyl, and then additional filters for searching in your Pokemon. That's going to be costume. That's going to be things like the Pikachu with hats, Raichu with hats and stuff like that. I'm assuming also the flower hat as well. And then hatched. I was having some problems with the baby Pokemon not all appearing, and so who knows how that's going to work. It kind of felt like that was already in the game. So there you have a bit of update there. Thank you, Trails, and I will be leaving a link, like I said, in the description. All right, so let's go ahead and take a look at some more PvP battles using Deoxys Defense form and company. So I will be going up against Jerk for my first battle, and we will be seeing another trainer after him. So he's going to be starting it off with Togekiss. I'm going in here with my Persian, and when you use Persian, you're not really focused on your charge moves. It's more about that scratch doing massive damage. So he does switch into Hitmonchan to do super effective damage, and I do retreat into Deoxys Defense form, not taking very effective damage from fighting type moves, as well as massive defense. Now at this point I didn't block because I thought he was going to hit me with another Power Punch, but Thunder Punch for neutral damage, it did a good amount, seeing that it did get an attack boost already. And there goes another attack boost. I'm going to hit it with the Psycho Boost. Let's see if he decides to hold on to it, and he lets it go. In comes his Togekiss here, and I will be able to get off another Psycho Boost. Let's see how much damage this does, and that's pretty good, folks, considering its defense form with the lower attack. And Togekiss does have a good amount of defense. So in comes my Persian, and goes the Empoleon, and still will be resisting normal types, but the Persian was still able to dig in, and I was not able to get off my charge because I was getting a little greedy there. Should have got it off. So in comes my Melmetal here, and I do have electric type moves. Thunderbolt coming in hot onto that water type, which is going to be doing quite a bit, but he does shield it up. And Empoleon does only have single charge moves, unfortunately, at this point, so I will be able to get off another Thunderbolt before it's able to get off a charge, and that's going to be a good game there. Into the next round, and keep in mind, these are just for fun, okay? He's always using these underused Pokemon, which I really must commend him for that. So I am going to be switching into Drapion because that was not a great matchup for my Toxicroak, seeing that Mantane's going to be part flying, so it's not looking too hot there. He is letting the Sludge Bomb go through. Maybe he thought I was going to hit him up with the Aqua Tail. And it's still not looking really good for me because I do have Infestation. It is going to be part flying type, so it's taking reduce damage from my quick move, but I will be able to gain quite a bit of energy. But it doesn't matter because down it goes. And I'm going to go ahead and finish it off with my quick move here. Let's see if we can pull this win. In comes the Raichu. It's looking pretty good. I do have 2 mud bombs coming in hot here. That's going to be 1. We burn 1 shield. Let's see if we can burn the next one here. And we do. That was just a visual bug. Sometimes the shields simply don't show up. All right, so we're just going to continue on. And I knew at this point he was not going to be able to get another wild charge off, just a brick break, which is going to be not very effective to me, seeing that I'm going to be part poison. Poison takes reduced damage from fighting types. And we get off another mud bomb on there, finishing him off. Unfortunately, down goes my Toxicroak when the Steelix came out. That's just the perfect matchup when you're going up against it. I do have counter on my Deoxys, so let's see what it can do, folks. Here we go, hitting it with Psycho Boost. Of course, everything the defense form Deoxys has for the charge moves is not going to be very effective to Steelix. On the other hand, counter will be doing a good amount of damage, and I am able to take that win there, and that is another good game. Defense Deoxys form looking good. All right, moving on to the next one here, and now you can see having multiple moves on your defense Deoxys is going to be a great idea. Absolutely a very steep investment, but it's going to be worth it. It's nothing like its other types, so believe me when I say it's going to be actually pretty good for PvP. Go ahead and give it a shot if you do not believe me. And if you do not have one yet, maybe you should ask around for people who do, because the thing does perform pretty magnificently and it has counter. So if they try to bring in Tyranitar, oh, it is going to be making quick work of it. Alrighty, so back into the battles here. I am going to be retreating my Crobat. My intentions were for my defense form to take the brute hit, but then I was thinking, what if it was Meteor Mash? So I just used my shield there anyways. So in comes his Haunter, and this could be good for me if he had no more shields. But with that counter going up against a Ghost and Poison type, which both of those typings are going to be taking reduced damage from a fighting type, it's not looking too hot for me for my quick moves. So down goes the Deoxys with that super effective Shadow Ball. I do have my Crobat with a bit of energy gained up here. It does have Shadow Ball, so I will be able to finish off that Haunter. And that's going to be a good game. So on to the next one here. I'm going to be starting off with my Victory Bell going up against the Alolan Ninetales, which it's still putting in quite a bit of work. Look at that Razor Leaf just tearing into it while I'm taking super effective Powdered Snow. We did shield that Psyshock because we're part poison. That would have basically taken me out in one hit. In comes his Mightyena. We will be lowering that defense there and just go ahead and Razor Leaf. I knew it had Fire Fang, but I just wanted to test it out. And as you've seen, wow, once you lower the defense, the Razor Leaf, it's tearing into your opponents big time. In comes the Cradily. Yeah, pretty random choice, right? I know. So it does have Infestation as well as Bulldoze here. So Infestation does grant you quite a bit of energy. In comes these Ampipom. So quite a unique choice there. And then I have my defense form, which has counter, super effective to that normal type. I do have another shield, so we will be blocking that. Probably should have took it just to see how well it could handle it, but that's okay. We're still going to shield up, and that's a good game. Moving on to the next match here, starting it off with Blossom, and one mistake that I have here is I should have Razor Leaf, not Acid, but that's okay. So we are going to be going up against that Hitmonchan, and he did hit me up with Thunder Punch. Not too sure, maybe he was trying to make me burn my shields, but hey, gonna continue on. It was still gonna be a win nonetheless because Blossom is not going to be part poison. It's just going to be grass, so it doesn't take reduced damage from fighting type moves. In comes my Honchkrow, and it's so unfortunate that this thing is so squishy because I love the Pokemon, has a fantastic moveset, but the thing can't take a hit for anything. And fun fact, Honchkrow is actually going to be your second best flying type Pokemon, second of course to Rayquaza. So in comes my defense form. We're going to go ahead and block up that Dazzling Gleam and get that Psycho Boost off here onto that Clefable, and let's go ahead and see what he does. I do decide to let whatever happens go through. He hits me with Meteor Mash, and it does a good amount of damage, but that defense form is just able to take hits. As you've seen, going up against that Steelix, those crunches were still not able to completely wipe it out, and I didn't shield 2 times, so that is a telling a lot, right? Unless you're going up against Tyranitar, I'm sure it's going to do a lot more damage. Anyways, going up against this Mantine here, let's see if we can get off this last Psycho Boost, and we are, because that Mantine is nothing to poke your nose at, because it will be able to charge its moves fairly quick with bubbles, so that's a good game. Going into the next match here, starting it off with Sceptile, felt a little cheap here at this point using a Community Day move, and he's just using all these unique Pokemon, but I'm over here like, top tier, Melmetal, nah. So yeah, moving on, it does have Ice Beam, so it will absolutely destroy me if I do not shield. After I did this first Frenzy Plan, I was thinking to myself, okay, I'll let it go through. Let's just let it go through. And that was literally my downfall of this whole battle here. But that's okay. The main purpose of going up against him was to kind of test out the Deoxys. So he is bringing Lucario. I'm like, nope, not super effective to my Persian. We're going to go ahead and bring in that defense form, doing super effective back with counter. I thought he was going to hit me up with Power Punch. Clever you. Hits me up with Shadow Ball and almost taking me out. So just barely holding on, able to get off one more charge and burn his last shield there. In comes my Persian, but at this point, it's just not looking great. Break's going to be super effective. Wild Charge would have took me out in one hit, and Persian's charge moves are just not that great and take forever, and that's going to be another good game. And if you're thinking to yourself, why are you using a Persian in PvP? Yet you made a video about Ambipom saying it's not great. Well, Ambipom can find some usability. It's just nice using Pokemon you enjoy sometimes, and Scratch on Persian is nasty. Anyways, into the next battle here, we have Steelix going up against my Deoxys. I will be shielding up that Crunch here because I just want to preserve it a little bit longer. Everything that the defense form Deoxys does have, like we mentioned in the beginning, as far as the charge moves go, it's not going to be doing very much to that Steelix, but your counter will be doing plenty of damage. So I was able to take it out. In comes the Altaria, and just to let you know, Dragon Breath tears through the defense Deoxys no matter what still, because Dragon Breath is just, it's just so good, guys. It's crazy. So I will be able to get off that Psycho Boost on him. In comes my Alolan Ninetales here. He is going to be retreating into Clefable. I will be going into Swampert here, just for kicks. Like I said, no random order to these teams, just kind of threw them together. So he does have the wrong Clefable out here. That's going to be his Legacy Pound, and we were discussing it after we were done, and he did not mean to pick that one. So yeah, he's going to be getting off Dazzling Gleam and taking me out quite significantly. I didn't want to get off my charge because I wanted to save it for the next Pokemon. He does have Altaria here. I will be shielding up and doing super effective with that Dazzling Gleam and taking him out, and that's going to be a good game there. All right, so on to the next one. And yes, there's quite a few battles. I just wanted to test it up. Now, this is a great matchup here. Quagsire versus Deoxys defense form. Let's see what we have going on. Going to hit up that first Psycho Boost. Wasn't too sure if he was holding on because I thought that Quag would be able to charge a little bit quicker. But I guess not, because Earthquake does require a little bit more energy than the Stone Edge, I suppose. Getting off my second Psycho Boost. He will be shielding it up. And I will take the hit this time. Let's see what happens. And it takes it quite well. Earthquake does devastate most Pokemon, but the defense form is still holding on. We do have another charge ready to go onto that Empoleon. As soon as we're done with this, it's going down. Yep. Now I have to make my decision here. It's basically a loss. Alright. So we're going to go in here with this Mismagius. Shiny. Very nice. So I do have Hex and Shadow Ball. Hex does get you quite a bit of energy to rise up that Shadow Ball quite nicely. But it's still not going to be enough. Was able to get one more off. Let's go ahead and burn that last shield on him. Do have one more shield left, but we've kind of seen this situation before. This was almost a possibility to win as long as I was able to get off one of those charge moves, unless I was lucky and Scratch finished him off. But nope, he was able to get to that Ice Beam first and to another one. As you can see, Bubble is quite significantly fast regarding energy gain. So that's a good game, Chirk. Thank you for those. On to the next battles. We have OMG Kesha. Now let's go ahead and see what we have going on here. I'm going to be starting it off with my Victory Bell. He's going in there with his Shelgon, and it does have Dragon Breath. I'm going to be retreating because Grass is not going to be doing much against it. I'm going to bring in my Alolan Ninetales, super effective, but he switches to Skarmory, and at this point I was really contemplating what I should do. I was like, okay, think, what should we do? All right, let's go ahead and try to bait the shield. Okay, very good. And then let's go ahead and hit him up with Dazzling Gleam. Probably thinks another Psyshock is coming, and we're able to do a little bit more damage than Psyshock would have. Although 2 Psyshocks could have probably done that same damage, if not a little more. Able to get to the Psyshock one more time. Not very effective because it is going to be a Steel type. He still does block it nonetheless, because he's seen what my other Pokemon was, and he probably wanted to preserve it in a good position. So I do bring in my Deoxys. Had a bit of lag here, and he's going to hit me up with Sky Attack. Wow, defense form Deoxys taking the Sky Attack from Skarmory quite well. So I'm happy about that. In comes his Shelgon. He's going to be hitting him with Dragon Pulse. I was really surprised. That did a lot of damage. Ow. I was a little nervous, but I was like, ooh, am I going to win this? I don't know. Down goes my defense form, unable to get off of that Psycho Boost, unfortunately. And I already knew he purchased a secondary move. It's super cheap on that. And it's shiny. Of course, he's going to deck it out. So that's a good game. On to the next match here. Starting it off with Lucario. He has the Azumarill. So I was thinking, okay, he's probably going to think I'm going to hit Power Punch. But what I'm going to do is go for Shadow Ball. And it worked. So getting that through. That's a good tactic to use because a lot of time people use Lucario, you're going to be expecting a power-up punch, so you're like, okay, I'll take that first hit. But if you skip it once, go straight to Shadow Ball and do massive damage, hey, you just got him there. All right, so moving on here, it's still not a great matchup. I mean, fighting's not going to be very effective to that Azumarill, seeing it's going to be part Fairy, plus one of the tankiest Pokemon in the Great League. In comes the Toxicroak, down go both of our first Pokemon. I have no more shields left, he has one more, and it's not looking too hot here. I could have been doing pretty good if he kept that Toxicroak in, but he has other plans, and with counter going up against Altaria, being part flying type, not happening. And I knew at this point, yep, he got me, but that's okay. These are still good tests to see how well it's going to perform. So it will be taking quite a significant amount of damage. Not too sure if he didn't hit the charge all the way on his Skarmory. Now that I think of it, he might have gotten just 2 rings because it didn't seem like it did so much. I know it's defense form, but hey, so I have my Trapeon here and it's just a struggle. I just went for Aqua Tail. I could have went for Sludge Bomb, but I wanted to save my charge for the next Pokemon, but I already knew I wasn't going to win, and that Toxicroak will be finishing me off with that Mud Bomb, so that is another great game. And with that said, trainers, I'd like to say thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. And I just want to show you the potential here. I know those probably all weren't the best situations, and I probably should have had a little bit more gameplay with this, but that's going to be coming in the future when I do purchase that secondary move. So like I said, if we can get this video up to 530 likes, I will be purchasing that. Yes, I'm going to have to invest rare candies and bite the bullet and spend that 100,000 Stardust. So if you're wondering, wow, your Stardust seems a little bit low, I saw a few comments a few videos back. That's because I purchased that secondary move for Melmetal, and I keep spending the Stardust as I go, guys. I'm buying secondary moves, I'm powering up Pokemon. I don't show everything I'm doing on camera anymore because it is going to leave me vulnerable to my opponents, who are going to know all my strategies and every single move I have on my Pokemon. Since PvP is out, unfortunately, I can't show you everything anymore. But I will still obviously power up Pokemon, purchase secondary moves on camera and things like that. So anyways, thank you for watching, trainers, and I'll be catching you all next time. Take care.